Well, hey everybody, Dylan here, and welcome to the February 26, 2023's review of Monday Night Raw. It's my life in a box. Okay, we're not to that era yet, but you know what? I'm getting ready for it. So they show a shot of where WrestleMania 40 will be at that time in 40 days. But tonight, they are in San Jose, California, in the SAP Arena, I believe is what it's called. After that, they show Drew and Becky arriving separately as they give highlights of what happened at the Elimination Chamber. I won't mention any of those highlights because one of these days I will actually review that pay-per-view. To open up the show, Dom comes out and does his normal, tries to speak until he gets booed off the stick. As he's doing that, he introduces Rhea to the ring, which gets a pretty good babyface pop, like always. Rhea welcomes us to Monday Night Mommy, which gets a mommy chant. She then gives us a recap of her winning and says that it doesn't matter who she goes against. Mommy is always on top. That cues Becky Lynch to come out. She talks about how she is glad she's going against Rhea at WrestleMania, but it's a good thing her family got to see her win in Australia, so that way they don't have to watch her lose here in the States. Dom tries to defend her, and Becky calls him a dirty kumquat. We're going to define that real quick, by the way, which I know what it is, roughly. It's a fruit or a vegetable, but I don't know exactly. Okay, it's a citrus, so that means it's a fruit. Kumquat is a group of small fruit-bearing trees in Australia. Their taxonomy is disputed. Okay. They were previously classified as in the same thing as citrus, but apparently that's controversial. Anyway, let's move on. After that, she goes back to talking about Rhea, where she says her reign was impressive, but while she's been fed grapes by Dom, she's been carrying the company while writing a book. Oh yeah, she was writing a book during this time. I had to think on that. Anyway, she says she can do it all, including beating Rhea, Bloody Ripley, in an Irish-Australian accent. I'm not going to do the accent. Okay, you know what? Okay, so we got a stereotypical Irish kind of going on, but also we need that Australian. So it's kind of like a Rhea Bloody Ripley. I don't know. I can't do accents. Rhea defends Dom, then says that it's about time she won something to compete on Rhea's level. She said that about herself. I don't know. This was a while ago. After that, she said it's just like a man to think that he has the backbone of something, but usually it's behind every great man is a woman. Only this time she won't be behind her because mommy's always on top. Oh, Rhea said that. After that, they talk some smack off mic, and as Dom and Rhea leave the ring during that time. I am so confused based upon my notes, but if it went down how I wrote it down, 3.5 stars. Oh, sorry, it's not finished. Commentary tries to transition away from that, but then Nia Jax comes out to beat up Becky in the safest way possible. She hits her from behind and gives her 2 leg drops. I automatically get flashbacks anytime I see that fucking leg drop. She tries to do the Annihilator to her, but Adam Pearce comes out and forces her to leave the ring and yells at her that he find her as well. Commentary then transitions to the rundown of the show coming up. Sami Zayne then comes out to Big Pop, and as OG NXT mark, I'm so glad that fans still remember the "Let's Go" part of his intro. Anyway, after a couple of ad breaks, I called them ad break one-offs. I think I mean promos and stuff during ad breaks, which Nia's talking to Jackie the interviewer about how she should be going to Mania, not Becky, and she's going to make sure that Becky doesn't make it to Mania. She was then asked about her match later with Liv, and then she said whatever she's going to do to Becky, expect 10 times that to Liv. Anyway, Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn have a pretty lengthy match where their numbers in WWE 2K apparently were revealed. I didn't write them down, so you know what they are if you play the game. Anyway, Sami wins with a haluva kick. After that, commentary transitions to a hype package between the New Day, sans Big E, and Imperium, sans Gunter. It shows the New Day arriving too. Then I apparently took something before watching Raw because we have a match between Chelsea Green and Raquel Rodriguez. But that's not the trippy part. During Chelsea's intro, Pat McAfee talked Michael Cole into trying the Chelsea Green bit with his name. So he did like the whole like Michael Cole thing. It made me pop. We're gonna put a pause in that. I forgot I wrote that down, and I was so confused. I was like, "Where are you going with this, Dylan?" And then I remembered that. Before the match, they officially list off the DLC list for 2K24. I'm not going to show it, just a little snippet you need to know. Before the match begins, Chelsea cuts a promo where she says that after filing a complaint with management, she is fighting in protest. She talks down Adam Pearce and Raquel and says that she's the star. And then she makes fun of Raquel and a local sports team for being losers. She then says after they be quiet, SHHHHH. I'm not going to do that because it piques my mic. She's going to prove that she's a winner by kicking her ass. But ass was cut off. Like, she said, I'm going to kick her. And then I think something happens. Oh, yeah, it was cut off by Raquel's music. Listen, it's been over 2 months since this Raw has happened. Let me live. This was a great comedy match, apparently, where Chelsea tells her not to cross a line twice, and then Raquel does each time, and then the final time she gets slapped by Chelsea. They then get into a fight, and during the fight, their 2K ratings were shown, apparently, but that doesn't matter because this was a short match, and Raquel's won by the time they say that. I haven't rated any of the matches for tonight. Just presume everything up until this point has been 3.5 stars. I don't think there's a single thing I remember at this point. No, not really. So everything's 3.5 stars unless I reverse that canon later because my ratings don't matter. Then we go to the ring where Imperium comes out to the ring. Gunther tries to talk, but he gets booed. Then he talks about his win over Jay and how great of a champion he is. He admits that he was close to losing his title last week, but he ended up winning and retaining regardless. He then talks about how he's beaten everybody along the way of making the IC title prestigious and who is going to be his opponent at WrestleMania. He then lists off a bunch of names to get a reaction, and then the Judgment Day comes out. Priest is the first one to hit the ring, and after him, Finn does, and they do a cool fist bump, dap up, and they all collectively stand up to Imperium. Priest tells him they don't sweat him, and that he has had a dominant run, only second to what the Judgment Day is doing. They plan on doing what they did at Elimination Chamber. Hold on. Only they plan on getting more gold. Sorry, my notes are so free-handed. I don't remember what I wrote, so I apologize. Oh yeah, they said they're going to get more gold. That includes Gunther's gold. He runs down Judgment Day and asks who's it going to be to challenge him. As he runs them down, Dom answers and says when they say they're going to do something, they do it. And that means that title belongs to us, being Judgment Day. Gunther shoves Dom, and it takes the whole group to hold Priest back as the crowd chants, let them fight. Finn calms him down as Gunther holds up the title, only for JD to leave the ring to end the segment. 4 stars because I thought it was going to lead to something. I didn't rank that on here. I'm just throwing this out now. I'm not taking hindsight into consideration. We then go backstage where New Day are coming out to the ring for their street fight against Imperium sans Gunther. After we come back to the ring, JD is walking backstage. Rhea runs into them and judges them for picking on Gunther. And Dom says not to worry, he's got this, as she walks away. Finn tells him he should go smooth that over with her. And as he's going to run away, he runs into Andrade. They have a small little talk where Andrade says he'll see him soon, but kind of friendly. And then they go to the ring for the street fight with Imperium versus the New Day. There's an interesting spot where they put Xavier Woods in a Tree of Woe position, but they had him facing the opposing turnbuckle. Then they put a chair where his ribs were and ran horizontally and vertically to dropkick the chair into his ribs. That was a pretty cool spot. The match ends when Kofi gets shoved off the top rope into a table he set up because, as the rule of wrestling goes, if you introduce a table into the match, you have to go through it. After a bunch of epic sequences happens, apparently, Woods gets craned with a TV, it looks like, and then he gets shoved into a chair in the corner and then rolled up for Imperium to win. 4.5 stars. Great street fight. After that, we get a Grayson Waller hype video package, and then Pierce is talking to Bronson Reed, and he says he'll have to call him back. Gable then tells him that he wants Gunther at Mania for the title to avenge his daughter crying in front of him for that last time they had the title match. After he's talking to Pierce and they can fade away from that, we get a match between Team Bayzler, her and Zoe Starks, against The Way, where Team Bayzler wins. 3.5 stars. They then show Drew McIntyre coming to the ring before the ad. Come back, and after an Elimination Chamber plug, R-Truth is in the clubhouse. Miz and Regeneration X joins him. They ask him why he's in there, and he said he was reminiscing on the good old days. Tommaso says that he has a plan to deal with Judgment Day. He asks Truth if he's ready to hear it. He does the, are you ready bit? And then Truth says, yeah, I'm ready. They do that bit for a bit. And then Tommaso leaves as Truth grabs his TV out of the clubhouse. Drew McIntyre then comes out. As he does his pose in the corner, fan attempts to take a shot of him in the crowd, but that fan takes too long and he misses the shot. Poor person. So he says that he thanks everyone who prayed for this to happen. It was the first man in and remained till the end. Apparently he busted his eardrum during the chamber, and afterwards Doctor said he might miss Mania. And he said, who is he, CM Punk? And then he goes across the leg and tells the cameraman not to shoot up his kilt, you perv. Anyways, after taking another shot at CM Punk, he then asks Seth to come out, who does. Seth does his normal intro shtick, then gets down to business. He congratulates Drew for winning the chamber and clawing to win another opportunity to challenge for the World Heavyweight title, this time in front of a crowd. The only thing standing in his way is Seth. Drew responds, asking him why he's challenging Roman and The Rock at the same time. And also whining, I wrote writing about SmackDown, I guess whining on SmackDown. He pleads with him not to do so that way the Bloodline doesn't jump him during their match, and then Drew doesn't have an invalid title win. Seth then takes off the shades, which means it's serious time, and then tells Drew that he respects everything Drew just said, but some risks are just worth taking. He tells him that Drew might be right. His back, his knee, the Bloodline might make it an easy night for Drew, but then again, he might be wrong. He then gives a beautiful speech where he realized that once he had a baby, that sometimes some things are just bigger than us, and the Bloodline is one of those issues. If he doesn't take them out, then they'll come for the world title next, and then they have everything. He then summarizes everything and says that he'll see him at Mania. He throws the mic and then storms out of the ring. I'll give it a 3.5 star promo. Pretty good. Commentary wraps up the story and then transitions to the brawl between the Elimination Chamber women last week. And then we get Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, where they go to the outside of the ring. Becky jumps Nia and throws some water from the crowd into her face. That's how the segment ends, with a shot of an angry Liv Morgan because the match got interrupted. We then go backstage where Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are backstage, and he's asked if he regretted having Cody on his show. Grayson said he didn't, and tonight he's going to beat Cody in the main event. They then plug the main event, which is that apparently, but before they do that, they have an in memoriam for Ole Anderson. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was the same episode. When we come back from ad, Pierce and Becky Lynch are talking, where Becky is pleading for a match against Nia, and Pierce gives it to her next week. Then Liv comes in a shot and says she was kind of in the middle of a match and not everything's about Becky. After a plug, we then get somebody talking to Jey Uso backstage, where he was asked about how he's going to get back into the title match. He said that he's just going to keep on being him, yeet, and it seems like he's pulling short, yeet, no matter what, yeet, whether it's family, yeet, or that, yeet. I'm so sorry. Drew then cuts him off and says that from the bottom of his heart, Jey deserves it. They brawl a little bit until that's pulled apart. We then get the main event where Cody wins with a crossroads. As he's celebrating, Paul Heyman cuts him off and Cody immediately grabs a chair. Heyman comes out with security. He continues talking and gets some heat until Cody cuts him off and tells the Bloodline to come and get him. Heyman says he's the only member of the Bloodline out here and that those men are from the New York Police Department. They're off-duty suspended officers. He says that nobody's here for an apology, but he wants him to take The Rock's name out of his mouth, Will Smith style. Paul Heyman begs Cody, pretty pleased with a cherry on top, to withdraw from the challenge with The Rock, or else. Cody then asks, or else what? The only reason why he hasn't reached The Rock is because he used to be a fan of The Rock, but he's done being nice. If only he knew what's to come. If it's a setup, come and get him. Paul said he had a better idea. As security comes to the ring, you can hear a fan yell out, "You suck, you suck, and you suck." Paul asks if he can get in the ring, and Cody says he may not. Paul then says that's rude, as the security gets into the ring and surrounds Cody. Cody then said if one more person comes close to him, then everybody gets it. Heyman said that he respects that just like he respects that Cody doesn't apply the rule to him. Cody said wrong, and then he clears the ring. Afterwards, Paul pulls out his Roman phone and his new Rock phone. Cody tells him to go ahead and call because he's hunting the Bloodline, not the other way around. That's right, he's the Bloodline hunter, not the Elite hunter. What? Heyman then tells Rock and Roman phones that it's not working as Cody beats them up, the security guards up, and throws them out of the ring. They plug WrestleMania and SmackDown for next week as we fade to black. So I'm sorry, that was a very sloppy review. I just want to give that apology. I would correct it, but we're live, pal. Plus, that was like, zero exaggeration, 2 months ago. I don't remember any of that shit. I will say, with all that being said, this whole... sorry, I forgot to rank that segment. I'll give that segment 4 stars because it was a pretty cool beatdown. That whole episode, I'll give it 4 stars. Why not? Why not? It's not a terrible episode. It had its highlights, the good parts. That's what a highlight is. And you know what? The negatives weren't like 2020 Raw, so it's pretty good then. Alrighty. Thank y'all for putting up with me taking time off. I was a little under the weather, but I digress. Hopefully, as long as I don't get sick, everything should be back to order eventually. I'll see you either for the SmackDown review or I'll see you for a Raw review, new episode of Raw tomorrow. I don't know. Whenever I upload this, I will see you for the next thing that we normally do. All right.